Captain Timo on duty.
되게 그냥 경험으로 간다고 그냥 그렇게 생각하고 있어요.
And just like that, it's hard to believe it, gentlemen, but we are on match point of day 3. We could be done in just an hour and be going to the grand finals of... It's hard to believe so much time has passed so quickly.
But this is the result to me that actually has an impact on tomorrow. I think we all thought, okay, very likely that LCK will beat the LMS because Flash Wolves was so top-heavy when it comes to the power there. For Flash Wolves to go down, and for it to be SKT, it's really kind of a myriad of emotions, but for us to actually see the Flash Wolves tamed does mean that there are potentially 4 teams that go competitively tomorrow against the best of the LPL.
Yeah, and for GRX, you heard it right there, they're here to gain experience. What I want to see them do is really go back to what that has made them strong in Spring Split. And it has been the AD carry composition, it has been the crit builds. 8.13 has buffed for that. You don't run away as fast with the early game, so maybe that should be a better fit rather than the Swain for Stitch.
Yeah, I mean, we saw SKT go back to what looked like a standard composition pre-MSI, and it worked so smoothly and easily for them. Like you said, not just leashing, but almost muzzling the Flash Wolves in there. Could we see GRX try a similar strategy?
It's very interesting. I think that an up-tempo comp from GRX is recommended, but this is a team that's been slow, and that's the criticism of this team in the summer season is, with their changes, slow-paced team want to get there. Slow-paced teams against KTs are the ones that really find it very, very well. And KT, to me, best early game team in the world all year running. For GRX to weather that storm, I think they have a great chance. But for the chance of them weathering that storm, forecast is for a lot of rain, a lot of hail, a lot of action in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, but GRX have really not been finding their stride in summer so far, going down 0-3 in their own region. And so far, they've been playing mainly bruisers in the bot lane. So I just want to see a little change for them. For a team at the level of GRX, it's about playing to the best of your style. I don't think it's really about matching the best of the meta.
Okay, well, we did just hear a little bit from GRX about trying to play that style and learn and experience coming into this tournament. What better team than the KT Rolster roller coaster? And right now, we could be at a peak and we could be at a valley. What do you think it's going to be, Papa? Will KT continue to rise?
I think it's very difficult to see GRX beating them, just given the whole landscape of their seasons and the tournament. But it would be pretty KT for it to happen. And honestly, maybe now's the time when you already have 2 wins.
Exactly.
If there's shenanigans, if we see 3 clean kills and a failed level 1, anything's possible.
Yeah, very well could be. Again, KT, they're still performing remarkably well in this tournament. We've got Deft and Mata in the bottom lane. Of course, Smeb has been doing some work in the top lane. But UCal, we have to talk about the performance of the mid laner of KT and what he's done coming in as a new player for this roster.
Yeah, he's always playing in the front lines. We've seen great performances from a Funnel Talia and also the Galio as well going into this composition. I really think that KT could probably play it very slow here and try to hide their strategies, not let LPL learn more from their funneling.
Maybe just some comfort champions as well. I know personally I'm looking for the Smeb Rumble. We've seen Mouse twice on it. Smeb, one of the best Rumble players of all time. I want to see score on the Kindred. That's his recent pick. That's a fun one. I think just honestly, like you say, now's not the time to show the Joker picks, the secret picks. Now's the time to go into comfort. No one's surprised if we see those picks, and I think we're not going to be surprised if we see another Galio victory, because Galio is slowly becoming the talking point of this tournament when it comes to a champion pick we knew all about, and yet it's sliding in so beautifully on 8-13.
Yeah, the wave clear really helping out that pick. It's so much important when there's scuttles and also the jungle invades and funnelings all around the place. But what I want to be excited about is the Aatrox, because in the group stages, Smeb and PK were the players that had the Aatrox banned against them all the time.
Ooh, well, we very well could see that. I think that's a larger discussion that we could actually have about the meta of the tournament and how it is evolving into 8-13, because again, the LPL, as an LPL host, we skipped over 8-12. We're coming straight into this. LCK had a little bit more time with 8-12. Is it just going to revert back to that, and are we going to see these bottom tier teams stick to bruisers, or what do you think of Papa?
I think there's value on the red side, especially for the bruisers. The reason why we're seeing Galio push up so much is, consider before, your bruisers got ahead, you built some banner of commands, you ended the game. Now you have to team fight, and Galio rolls team fight with his ultimate and his AoE taunt, really deciding more 50-50 team fights than the sieges that were coming up before. So we're seeing different priorities. We're seeing the buffs to champions like Kindred on 8-12 and 8-13. Notice we do see score, so no sign of a rush. Sorry, global fans. One day, your boy your kind boy, will be released. KT Rolster, I wondered, would it be KT or FLICKR turned into this spot? FLICKR does have those champion select 50-50s and also the real innovation, and I guess they're just deciding that for today, no more information if they can close out the 3-0.
Yeah, you definitely want to put your strongest team in one of the top 3. Give them a chance to show the world what they're made of. Remember, Rift Rivals is a kind of a show match scenario, no world implications. It's about getting fans from around the world. And I think KT, with their good performance so far, do deserve a chance in the spotlight.
And here you can see GRX
hey,
are going to be on the blue side. PK, Raze, Wuji, Stitch, and Koala. On the other side, though, we've got Smeb, Score, Yukao, Deft, and Mata from KT.
I'm excited to see Raze. He was on Kongdu Monster last season, and while they struggled, if they were having good games, it was from Raze's jungle, the Jarvan, one of his big picks, the Zac as well. Their coach actually is on the Sport TV Korean broadcast. MC, no longer with the lineup, but he was his old coach, so a bit of a trans-regional friendship that comes through there.
A bit of a rivalry.
You can see in the LMS right now, what's happening is actually we're getting a massive influx of Korean players taking over challenger teams and stuff like that and trying to add on to the limited pool of the LMS so far. This is kind of a proving ground for if that strategy is actually successful.
Well, we'll have to see if that's going to be how it works out for them. That said, though, we've got our casters ready to get us into this Game 3. It's match point for LCK. Let's see if they can take it.
저희 팀의 컨디션은 뭐 나쁘지 않은 정도인 것 같고요. 네. 그리고 요즘 메타는 일단 한국에서 조금 다양한 플레이를 먼저 시도를 많이 해가지고 네, 그게 이제 중국이나 이제 다른 나라로 좀 퍼진 것 같은데 네, 그거 한국 선수들이 이제 보통 이제 다른 포지션도 잘하는 선수들이 많아가지고 네, 좀 다양한 픽들을 네, 재밌게 많이 할 수 있는 것 같아요.
Thank you very much, Mata, and of course, thank you very much, Dom, as well. I'm Atlas. I'm on the desk for potentially just one game, flanked by my LPL old brethren in FLICKR and Raz. And we're straight into Champion Select. GRX are going to be on the blue side, KT Rolster on the red, and already all the bans have come in. Woo! Rakan, Galio, and Sejuani taken away by GRX, and Talia, Nocturne, and Zoe taken away by KT.
And the thing that immediately stands out to me is that there were no bans that were leveraged towards the top side of the map. Now, when we talk about GRX, if you want to pay attention to one player, it is their top laner in PK. We just heard Papa Smithy talking about their new jungler subbing in Raze, but PK has usually been the go-to guy looking for these carry champions, played things like the Singe, and Aatrox just slipped all the way through.
Yeah. And so Aatrox not going to be looked at. Volibear considered at the moment, but Morgana, a more understandable pickup here for potentially Mata or Deft or Yukal or anyone, but Tahm Kench, the Toadfish for Mata on the bottom side of the map.
And you just expect, of course, we've seen a lot of Aatrox. We've seen the fact that it can go towards the mid lane. I'm looking at the Mundo more often because people are comfortable with the Mundo into the Aatrox matchup. You saw what happened in the previous game.
Darius is available, Raz.
That's true.
I don't want to see Mundo picked up before that's banned away ever.
Maybe second phase.
Just nothing.
Yeah, there's the Kindred locked in for Score. Exactly what Papa wanted to see. I wanted to see it with the Galio. Not going to happen this game, but KT with a power pick for the old man Score in the jungle.
Yeah, having those comfort picks, I 100% am aligned with the desk. I think this is going to be all about comfort picks, that KT aren't going to reveal any of their hand. LCK, they're feeling real good right now about a possible 3-0. Personally, I feel that KT are the best performing LCK team so far at the tournament, and so there's no reason to kind of stretch yourself into a discomfort zone. Just sit back and cruise through this one.
And if you've seen the previous KT games, there are slow rolls and there's a lot of insurance policy in this one with the Tahm Kench and the ultimate from Kindred. So you have to make a hell of a lot of mistakes on the KT side of things for GRX to really get an advantage here.
Well, speaking of GRX, not a lot of flexibility as they lock in the Braum finally. It's going to be the Gragas, most likely going to the jungle, although it has been flexed towards the top side for a FLICKR Freaks to not very much success. Raze, of course, did play the Gragas when he was playing for Kongdu Monster. Not a lot of success found there, though, to be honest, because they were relegated as Varus locked in for Deft, a power pick for him.
And theoretically, the Swain, Gragas, and Braum, you do talk about where they could slot in, but it could be anywhere. This could still be the makings
it's a flexy one, yeah.
A funnel comp, possibly with the Braum feeding into the jungle, Gragas going up with the support at the top. It feels like he plays every position right now. But I do want to talk about the Varus. I actually suspected that it would be the Ashe. I think the Varus makes a lot of sense because it dissuades things like the Swain as well as the Vladimir down there in the bot lane, or at least can compete with them.
And take a look at what it's going up into. So Kindred, of course, we already talked about the ultimate being setting down the pace, but there's so much disengage, so much zoning control
and
from the side of
displacement
GRX.
from the ultimate from
Exactly.
Raze, if he is going to be playing the Gragas.
So we just need to see the damage coming in from GRX.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're still looking down the barrel of Mata's Tahm Kench. Like, yes, there is so much displacement and control of the battlefield, but that's one of the greatest supports in the world on one of the most disgusting, stupid, hate this champion.
Tell me how you feel, please.
Get it
please,
out.
be honest with us, Frostgrid. Well, Vladimir going to be banned away as well as Aatrox
There's
by
the respect.
KT Rolster, and the Darius has been taken off the board, so Smeb, he can head straight towards the Mundo pretty comfortably on their first round of picks here for the second round.
And I would actually expect that to be the first pick out of this draft phase, unless GRX don't want to deal with Mundo
They
at
could
all.
just ban it, right? Yeah.
If they ban it, or if they let it through, I think PK might go towards the Singed again, because he has liked that matchup in the past.
And if that's the case, then you would expect GRX to be playing towards the bottom side of the map. I know when Bebe was on, he made a lot of pathing mistakes, going towards the Singed far more often when he can handle the top lane. No, don't. Hey, I see what you're doing, Frost. These are just hovers. Please calm yourself.
Oh, well.
I'm about to get excited.
This one's been banned against Smeb already this tournament. The Jace has been something that he's played a lot, but not going to be considered just yet. Def playing with our hearts, and Syndra going to be locked away, most likely for you, Cal.
And so it really means that Smeb just wants to know what lane matchup he wants. He doesn't want to go up against a Singed when he's on the Mundo pick. Empower Smeb a little bit more. That's their decision here.
It also means that they have a ridiculous power spike in that mid lane for level 6 as well as level 9. Usually when you see the Syndra, it just means that Score is going to look over at you, Cal, and say like, "Hi, ready to go for a stroll in the enemy jungle? Me too, let's go kill some kids."
Well, speaking of killing people, we've got the Callista locked in for
God.
Stitch. Now looking at Ornn, could be heading towards the top side, could be support. We've seen it everywhere, but that's going to be the Braum locked in, so I have a feeling it's going to be the Callista Braum on the bottom side, and very standard comp from GRX potentially if this is top lane locked in.
And just talk about comfort. Stitch, he's been through a lot of regions. Through Samsung.
Yes, he has.
In the LSPL as well, and he's always gone towards the Callista. So even though everyone is wondering, why are you picking Callista in this situation, Lethal Tempo is the go-to for the pick. And of course, he wants to find more engage opportunities. GRX has shown themselves to be more of a scrappier team-fighting team here. So this is going to be GRX playing towards the bottom side of the map. Please, Smeb, don't do this to me.
No, yes, Smeb, do
Please
this to me.
do this to us.
Lock this in.
And we've seen it. He's
Yes.
been playing it in the LCK, the cannon, to be locked in for Smeb. Everyone getting flashbacks to Smeb at Worlds, that huge play that really boosted him onto the map, the gigantic Slicing Maelstrom. Not sure whether it's going to be similar here, just because Slicing Maelstrom has changed just a little bit. It's not going to be that explosive. But Smeb has already proven in the LCK that this is a pick to be feared and respected.
And honestly, I'm afraid for Stitch. I'm afraid he's such a low-range AD carry, walking up towards a Varus ultimate.
A Syndra.
Yeah.
A cannon.
A cannon. Literally, your life is on the line. You need the front line to walk forward. GRX cannot fall behind this game early.
Well, we'll see whether they can do it. They've got a composition that has a lot in order to protect Stitch. I mean, they've still got the Swain, the zone control, explosive cast for the disengage, the Glacial Fissure coming in for some extra CC, plus, of course, the ultimate coming out from Kindred herself. They do have ways of winning this game. However, you look over the other side, it's the Thunderdome from KT.
And it's also a lot of stop and start from both teams. You were just talking about the fact that GRX have all of these abilities to start fights, to separate, to sculpt the battlefield, but you're still looking across from Kindred, you're still looking across from Tahm Kench.
Yep.
These should be very long and drawn out back and forth fights, unless KT just find a massive pick with Syndra and instantly blow someone up, or do have that Thunderdome wombo combo, Varus ult, Cannon ult, Syndra burst.
Press all the R buttons and hope.
Just smash it.
I just want to see what happens level 1, because GRX needs to start firing off. They have the Braum in their wheelhouse as well. They have a pretty damn good level 1. I want to see if they can look in for an invade and track the Kindred really early on.
100% they should immediately invade and split the map. Create a strong side depending on where they want to start pathing their jungler.
Well, we'll see whether it's going to be the def that face checks or the def that destroys people, like we saw on day one. His Ezreal out of control, and his Varus has been a comfort pick for years and years now. Looking on the side of KT, there's not a player here that isn't on ultra comfort.
The thing is KT should feel no pressure at all. Yes, they get to kind of deliver the final blow, but at the end of the day, they still got 2 LCK teams in the pocket.
Hey, that's true, but they want to be the ones to send LMS home. It's game number 3. It's do or die, and GRX have to win this to keep us here for Rift Rivals Day 3. Day 4 already looking like LPL LCK, but it's not all over until the fat lady sings.
And this is when miracles start. Because honestly, KT...
sing it to me, Raz.
Did you just come into this game with Flash Wolves being taken out by the 4th placed LCK team and be like, nah, Mighty Ducks, it's our time.
It's the flying V, baby.
I've seen enough movies, please. We gotta start it with something. KT. The strongest team thus far in the
Are we just gonna like hum along to Eye of the Tiger? That's going to be this
That was
cast?
actually
That's
my
what's
plan,
happening?
just to sing for this entire cast.
Hey, we've tried it before, FLICKR, many moons ago. KT, you're gonna clear out some vision though as we actually turn our eyes to the video game at hand. Moving towards the bottom side, no one invading, which I am also disappointed in, Raz, because having Braum means that invade is very strong. However, GRX not wanting to throw it all the way up.
That's okay. I don't care about Koala right now. I care about Mata, and I love Mata because he does weird things
He
sometimes.
licks people in the tri-brush. That's what he does.
But he also has the spell book on the Tahm Kench, which we haven't seen in the LPL so far. I always love Mata because I feel like he sets trends, he sets paces about how he builds these types of champions, and I feel like spellbook is one of those keystones that really hasn't been investigated as heavily as it should have, especially in LPL.
One thing I would like about this is because Varus and Tahm Kench should have the range and poke in the laning phase here, should they want to keep constant pressure. If Mata ever finds an early base, he wants to be able to switch towards the teleport and come right back in. That being said, Score finding him really early on.
Yeah, and this is not when you want to be skirmishing the Kindred. Level 2, very strong for Score, and he's just going to take away the Rift Scuttler. And that also has the mark on it, remember, so even getting extra here for KT's jungler.
And Ray's just got completely shut out from his jungle. Again, it's the fact that Kindred has that range mobility, has the red buff right now, gets the Scuttle Crab, now takes the blue buff, and poor little Raze is forced to waste 30-45 seconds walking across the map.
And this has a large impact on the map as a whole. Smeb on the top side of the map knows that Raze got pushed to the bot side, means that he can shove up whenever he wants.
And unlocks all of KT's lanes.
Well, in fact, they're going to get a flash in the mid lane as well. Wuji, nothing he can do. The full wave of minions is going to crash into him, but that is a free summoner spell instantly. And Score has just been doing everything right. Ray's very good at getting dumpstered by Score. Did it for a whole season in the LCK. It looks like nothing's changed.
I was just going to say from bad to worse because unfortunately he went for the Wolf Camp thinking that KT or Score would spend more time on the top side of the map. Instead, Score brilliantly shoves in the mid lane, immediately walks across, and declines any type of blue buff. So this is going to be a 3-buff start from Score.
And a double Rift Scuttler at the same time. This is about as terrifying as it can possibly be for an enemy jungler. There is nothing Raze can do. He's still level 2.
Give him something!
Get away!
Score doesn't want to give him anything at all. Just smites away the big raptor. Ain't no big popcorn chicken coming in for you, Raze. And Wuji, he's in trouble. Yukal, remember, he's a level 4 Syndra. Couple of points in that Q does a lot of damage now as Airy applied once again. The Swain in some trouble. No flash.
And take a look at the options Raze just doesn't have. Because unless if he goes into the red side jungle...
How do we look at something that he doesn't have,
It's
Raz?
just all empty. You can't go to the Raptors unless you're feeling real confident with Syndra pushing up. Can't go to the Krugs, so he's going to be real sad in the blue side jungle for quite some time.
And look at Jerk Smeb right here. He immediately walks down. He knows that Gragas is going to be on the top side of the map, places a super deep ward down the river, almost immediately at the middle to catch the jungle interest. If Gragas decides that he even wants to go towards that Raptor camp, you know, KT, you're going to be like,
Yeah.
Stop it.
And that is not a defensive ward. That is a, we found a fat dude to kill kind of ward. It's getting real scary here for GRX. And it's 0-0. There's no gold lead to speak of, really. It's 500, nothing much. But with everything that's already happened, it's starting to feel once again like KT at Rift Rivals.
That's all I want. I just want KT
I want KT at Rift Rivals throughout the entirety of the year. That's what I want. I want this KT to actually hang around. The KT that you feel like you can get excited about.
I'm excited about this one. Exhibition matches, this is what it's all about.
Oh, Reddit
Does it
just
count?
got real upset with you.
Yeah, I'm the one who curses them.
Yeah, no, I do it all the time. I think it's hilarious. Knockup's going to come in as Smeb's going to lightning rush his way out. One more mark, and that is going to be the stun. Good Bellows Breath to deny part of it. As PK doing a decent job here against Smeb. It's a rough matchup, to be honest.
Remember, no mana on towards PK, so if he consists on this type of thing, remember, bottom side pressure.
Aww.
Just
Raze is like, I got the gank, boys, and they landed the CC, and then Mata was Tahm Kench.
Just so much fun, just great counterplay. I really like how it opens up the game, speeds everything up. There we go.
For you?
Yeah, come on, Score. See whether you can get that dive happening. Remember, PK, like you say, no mana, half a health bar, still a dangerous dive.
But it's also really important that UCal is here.
Okay, that's first blood. UCal just making out with the outer turret mid lane, walks away.
Literally high-fived him in the face right there. What I was saying is it's super important that UCal is pressing up because they didn't want the Swain teleport, but he gets the free kill.
Slicing Maelstrom on the top side of the map. PK, you are well and truly dead. Score picks it up. They're going to trade back, though. Oh, no! He didn't even touch him!
This is feeling
that
bad.
feels real bad. GRX get nothing back. Because she's stopped casting everyone. She's just making noises now.
Okay, so the idea was that UCal presses up Swain, gets in his face, makes sure that he can't teleport for free, and then UCal's like, I think I can kill him. Kills him for free, walks away. They then see the jungler scores like, jungler mid, time to dive topside. And then the Swain comes through with the teleport anyway, doesn't touch him. And now it's disaster here. You can't see it in the gold lead, but Score has got everything. He's been running a train right now on Gragas in the jungle. UCal now has kill pressure, and GRX are just fishing for anything.
I don't think this
Well,
works.
it's a three-man dive onto Smeb. Lightning Rush
Flash.
isn't going to be enough. Flash is going to get him out of the way. Vision of Empire avoided easily, and Smeb just wanders away. It's a full wave that he's denied, but denying a full wave now when KT have taken basically the legs of GRX is not enough.
And they just have to be doing something. So I'm not really faulting them for anything.
Oh, they definitely had to go for that type of play.
Exactly. So at this point in time, you're that far behind. You still have a lot of playmaking potential on the Gragas. Look for those plays. Unfortunately, with the Swain going up topside as well, this mid lane turret is so damn low.
Yeah, UCal just had a whole bunch of free time. We're going to have a look at this one again. This is called UCal walking towards Wuji and throwing balls at him.
Get back. That's literally it.
Also
it's the
hit
walk
the
out
stun
of the way strategy.
to push the Gragas back, so Gragas was unable to connect with the CC. UCal, I called him a god before, it's just a time about when he's going to extend. This guy is going to be such a superstar for the LCK.
Well, teleport coming down bottom side as Deft walks forward. Chains of Corruption are going to land as Koala trying to stand behind Stitch, but the health bars are so low. They pick up the first kill. It's Mata that gets it. Deft follows up, and now Wuji with the Demonic Ascension is trying to get in there, but KT don't care. They're going to walk back. They're going to take the turret, and they're going to continue taking more.
And what gives KT the confidence to do that is because Score has total run of that bottom red side jungle, and there is no teleport from PK. He had used it towards the top side of the map, so they knew that they had the numbers advantage to make a free dive like that.
And it was just such a beautiful timing too. Look at that massive wave balling up and towards the tower that Callisto loses all of, just because of the dive. So
And
the kills
already,
go over,
Deft
and
was
that.
ahead by 25 CS in the pure 2v2. There hadn't been anything else. In fact, it was only Raze that had head down there. It's the power of Varus and Tahm Kench in the laning phase. And KT, it's much like what you'd see out of something like Gorilla and Prey, where they're left on their own on an island, but this time it's Mata and Deft with all of the control despite no help.
And it's so unfortunate that the camera hasn't spent more time looking at Deft and Mata's lane phase. If you just look at the 2v2 mechanics of how they're playing their champions, how they're positioning, when they're looking for trade windows, I honestly do believe that they are the strongest bottom lane in the world, and I've got Uzi and Ming sitting in my region.
Yeah.
They are frankly a joy to watch, and a lot of their victories at this Rift Rivals really do start around them, and they haven't really gotten the credit.
And finish around them as well. We all witnessed the Hextech Gunblade Ezreal coming out of Deft. And, you know, from back when Deft was in the LPL, watching him play Ezreal has just been an incredible joy. Oh, man. Then before, you know, in the LCK, known for teamfight positioning, in the LPL, known for laning phase, and now back in the LCK, it seems like he can do it all, as well as face checking a few brushes every now and again. Wuji, you're not allowed in this lane, my friend. UCal misses basically everything, but still the message has been sent.
Yeah, I'm just looking towards this. This feels bad in the sense that whenever he comes back into the lane, he's getting pushed out, allows for vision control for Score on the top side of the map. So for this point forward, Raze needs to be a lot more risk-taking. He
I
needs
was
to
going
look
to talk
for it.
about a silver lining, but score walk top
I think the
lane.
silver lining is like the fur on Ornn at the moment. That is the closest thing we can get because the skin helps us out.
He doesn't
Looks
have access
comfortable.
to his flash, but he definitely knows that something is up. Okay, silver lining. Wuji
He
has
figured it out. She figured
got
it out.
to farm 3 different lanes. He
Wonderful.
teleported top lane, and he picked up all the farm after his top laner died, and then he walked bottom lane and got to pick up all that farm when his bot lane died.
And he's still behind.
But only by, I can't do the math,
What?
7.
Aha! Don't worry, guys.
What?
Koala's the golden boy. I'm glad we've got at least one Australian casting Koala for this particular match. Although both of our play-by-plays are Australian, so we're going to be fine on that regard.
There we go.
Oh man, there's just not a lot of good things to talk about when it comes to GRX. You were searching for a silver lining, Frostgrin, but sometimes it just seems facetious. Got the Rift Herald, that's just going to be parked in the mid lane. Shelly says, whoa, KT, what the heck did you do to this game?
Yeah, and this is just frustrating. Like, Ray's had the proper idea going towards the bottom side of the map, but now he has to respond to this. Even though this mid lane outer tower is going down, he still has to defend the inner tower, at the very least, if KT decide to continue on.
And you use the word proper, but it really is the
can they-
only option that he has.
Gets another charge as well, that's free.
Can't gank the mid lane got smashed. Can't gank the top lane got smashed. You have your kill pressure and your CC set up in your bot side, but you're
I
still
don't like
looking.
this nursery rhyme very much. If I'm an LMS fan.
It's not a great bedtime story.
No, it certainly isn't. Don't sing me that one. I'll be having nightmares that night.
One good thing. Now, hear me out.
I'm
Ornn got to
listening.
push top lane. He should head back to base. He has a TP advantage over Smeb for a little bit of a time. And you have Kalista, who's finally hit 7. This should be a great opportunity for them to make for a play when the bottom lane ends up coming back because they're now basing.
All right, well.
Damn it, they ain't giving me much.
Now, I'm going
No.
to throw this to you. KT know that this is going to happen because it's very obvious when
Yes.
you look at all of the summoner spells and you can see GRX, they're setting up for it exactly. I would expect a TP ward to go behind the tower right now of this wall. Behind the tower, place the ward.
Well, they're going to find a
Take
ward.
a look at Defton's. They're not
Because
going back
they
to lane.
know, Raz, this is what I'm saying. KT know that this is going to happen. So like, screw that. I'm going to find something else on the map.
Like an inner turret in the mid lane, which is exactly where UCal is on his own. No one wants to be anywhere near the Syndra with a newly
Oh, they're
built
setting a trap. It's a
Luden's
trap
Echo.
trap.
Yeah, okay, well, Control Ward's going to spot them out as now GRX. Are they even going to be able to take down the turret? The minion wave's over, and now KT, it's a 3 versus 3. Teleport almost available from Smeb. PK has his up, and they're not going to go for any of these fights. They wanted the Ornn to be nearby in order to get this one started. Not deciding to do so makes some sense.
That's when GRX is just upset. At least challenge us to a gentleman's duel. Don't just clear the wave and make it end like that.
How much nicer could they have been about that? KT came out of the bush like, why, hello.
Hey, do you guys want to leave? You can leave. Just leave our structures available. Good, good.
They didn't even walk down the lane. They just came from the side. It was GRX who pieced out of that one.
They definitely did. As quickly as their little feet could carry them. Oh, and speaking of things getting snowballed, that's a Rage Blade to be picked up first. We saw in our previous game, it was
The
Bang
Bilge
picking up
Water
the
Cutlass.
Bilge Water Cutlass into the Blade of the Ruined King. But that's something that you do when you've got a relatively even lane matchup.
Because you want the sustain naturally so you can sit in the lane
So you
phase
can
longer.
survive the lane. However, Deft, he was just pooping on the lane with just a shield, and so he decides Rage Blade's coming in first. Score, throws down Wolf. But isn't going to find too much more as Deft 1 versus 2 under the turret. Looks for a couple of cheeky autos, but they'll just take a dragon, I think, because there's a free objective on the map, and KT may as well do it.
I'm just surprised they didn't commit to the dive. They could have actually wrapped around them. They were a little bit more afraid of raising the position.
Yeah, it's imperfect vision, and that's kind of the one thing. KT, yes, they're a very aggressive team, but they're still an LCK team at the heart of it.
And they have been setting aside a lot of their aggression that they've had in previous seasons this time around. Their first game back, Deft on the Ashe, they played incredibly slow. And it was a better look for KT.
Controlled.
Demonstrating that they can play controlled, suffocating style, much like their nemesis in SKT in years past and in games in this tournament.
Although, hold on. Is PK going to pull the trigger on this? We kind of talked about imperfect
The level
vision.
disadvantage, slicing Maelstrom level 2, I probably wouldn't do it.
And he only has enough mana for one ulti, so
Yeah,
I
some
probably
buttons on
wouldn't want
cooldown.
to. Please don't.
Yeah, I think you're right, Rez. I got excited for a potential smacking of buttons, but gonna happen here as Smeb does get himself a cheeky stun, but there's a Negatron cloak there, heading towards a Pistol Mask. Certainly Old Ornn's favorite item to build first. He's going to pick that one up easily.
And just look at how cautious KT's bot lane is being about trying to siege up this bottom lane tower. They put so much vision around their bottom side. Meanwhile, Score and UCal are just flying up to the top side. Depending on how this pressure point goes over the blue buff and top tower, we may actually see both outer towers fall at the same time for KT.
Well, the thing that I'm really scared about is that we're not
Uh-oh.
going...
They're rotating mid.
No, UCal.
I'm going back.
Look at the super speed sentinel.
Oh.
Score's like, can I out-damage this? They've wasted so much time. I know, doesn't really matter. But Wuji's going to pick it up, and Ray's going to come in here as well and help zone away. So a blue buff for free just because KT botched it a little bit.
Yeah, they just didn't have to rush it. Wuji was taking care of the mid lane wave, so it was a
Look at
numbers
Score.
advantage.
He could do anything.
Are you
he could
kidding
just
me?
wander everywhere.
Oh, he's not going to do it.
Because he doesn't see them.
He could have killed that for
That's
free.
too much discipline. Wait a second, just touch the tower.
I know, right?
Touch the button.
Control yourself.
They're going to touch the bot as Def takes that one down. Nice segue, Atlas. You needed to do your best to stop that one from going awry. And this one should be an easy push for Deft as they continue to put on pressure.
I like the word control, but I feel like it's a bit too forgiving for KT right now. We've kind of done musical chairs across the map, and they could have pressed their advantage more, but again, it comes back to this idea of imperfect vision. They didn't 100% know where GRX were, so still definitely respecting their opponent to an extent in this game, and making sure that when they do act, they do so appropriately with 100% success rate.
And this is the criticism that I will put on towards KT. Remember that the stopwatch users are Syndra and Kennen. They should be leading with them, so they can actually look for dives even with imperfect vision, and they could make it work with the added deer aggro of the tower.
And we've got an interesting thing happening here. Deft has forgotten that he's Varus, thinks that he's Kai'Sa, and is going to be picking up Nash's Tooth as item number 2. It's the AP Varus coming in here that we've seen 3 different Varus builds so far in the LCK this season. This has been one of them, as well as we even had the Lethality Varus come in for one game. Wasn't great, but certainly was still played. Def going to try his hand this one instead, give them a little bit more magic damage.
The passive AP really works well with the Varus. I think the best thing that I like about it is the fact that you have so much access towards the defensive AP items, like the Banshee's Veil and the Zhonya's. If you go towards that route, it makes it a lot easier rather than saying maybe I just get a Guardian Angel.
Well, Score going to dodge out of the
Nicely
way.
done.
And,
Okay.
that's a party cast coming in for Raze. He's going to flash because he knows he made a mistake. And he says, well, maybe you should have bought Bebe. I don't know, because that was a whole lot of buttons that did basically nothing. And by basically, I mean definitely did nothing.
Just watering the grass, he saw some yellow patches.
Some alcoholic grass there, Raz. I don't know what you feed your lawn at home, but don't
It's
think
not
that's
good.
very healthy.
It's not good.
You got some brown backyard happening.
And then the immediate capitalization is the fact that UCal has vision on all of them being near the mid lane. He's been free pushing, grabbing solo XP, solo gold, and now the tower himself, and shoving in. And he's free to do so because he's got Mata with Abyssal Voyage underneath him should things go dicey and sideways with Wuji.
Not to mention Lamb's Respite from Score just hanging out off to the side, so if anyone decides they want to engage, it should be all too easy. Smeb's on the bottom side of the map has teleport available. He's just going to be taking away a blue buff for himself as UCal just dodging out of the way of Wujin and Score jumping over the wall. Wanting to put pressure on, but not going to find this inner turret just yet, as Wuji's done a decent job of holding off the minion wave.
And here's
Def
the
doesn't
thing.
really know where to go.
GRX are going to be less and less comfortable with the fact that KT is not pressing the button. Because 2 minutes in, Baron's going to be up. With how much control wards and how much they've pushed GRX off their blue side jungle, they can rush it with how much damage they have from Varus and the Kindred. So this is a very fast Baron pickup from KT once it gets to the 20 minutes.
But ultimately, that is kind of the space on the map that GRX do want to fight in. Of course, it is a big wombo combo type of composition. They excel when they are grouped together, when they are a 5-man, when they make that initiation. So the mid lane priority is probably the most important for them in the map. They need to start flushing out their jungle, moving their control vision line, and at least neutralize it towards the top side of the map, not lose control of that Baron, and then try to fight in that area. That's your Hail Mary play right now.
Yeah, and also they've got Stitch. They're looking for that 2-item power spike. That's one of those things that you still need to look out for, is the fact that when that Hurricane comes in, all of those Ren stacks can be set up if GRX land the CC and give Stitch the space to do it. If it's inside a Baron pit, that only makes it better, but he will have to play around Score with the ultimate that can certainly shut that down.
And just remember, they need to really focus on their defensive vision. GRX, they're dealing with a Kennen. With how much time and space they can give Stitch, doesn't matter if he gets flanked by that. With how much vision that KT has placed so deep into the blue side jungle. So right now, doesn't matter how long the fight ends up going, Stitch is going to have to face the Kennen.
But this is also why I love what KT are doing by running the 1-3-1, because they know that Smeb and UCal are so strong in isolated 1v1s, and Score has the vision control to move between the lanes. Like playing a triangle on the map right now, you make sure that GRX are never grouped up to really capitalize on their composition. And even though you do have the 2-item power spike window for Kalista, ultimately she's still going to fall off a cliff at some point in the game. So if KT really want to play this one very controlled and slow, you just wait out that point and then blast your late game.
Well, see whether we're going to be here at 50 minutes. I have a feeling it's not going to get to that point though. 0-4, we're still theoretically perfect game pace for KT Rolster. Not something that we say all the time. It's often that at least one fumble has happened by this stage, but not looking to be at this time around. Yeah, they took a blue buff. Does that affect a perfect game?
Nope.
I don't think so. As Score is going to be able to lock down the Dragon. Perfect game still in there as, okay, the ultimate comes in from Stitch. He flashes forward. They're looking for KT, but he should get punished for this one. Not able to find anything, and everything is on cooldown. KT, can they find the re-engage? Not going to go for any teleports. And once again, reserved play.
Stitch needs to count his lucky stars that UCal was on the other side of the fight, because he was looking to get blasted with that flash.
And honestly, KT were just shocked. They didn't expect it to happen.
Yeah, what?
Wait, he's in our mouth and they accidentally spat it out instead of chomping down on it.
Death could have just finished the kill.
Flavor.
It just got to that point.
Oh, God. Okay, well, they're going to take an inner turret. And they're probably going to grab another one as they move towards the top side of the map. This is what happens when you have vision control absolutely everywhere. Freedom to roam through. This inner turret at least going to take half of its health bar, and there's another minion wave conga lining forward. Wuji, can he clear this wave quickly enough? As Stitch turns up, this should be able to help out as Smeb. He gets pulled out. That's going to be the stopwatch used and the slicing maelstrom. Good but Mata straight into the waking mouth of his support, and Score going to take down the Kalista. PK trying to jump forward, but KT, it's a masterclass in how to play this team fight. Smeb, he's going to prove me wrong one way or the other as he flashes forward very interestingly, but it doesn't matter. They're still not going to lose anyone, and they'll keep the push happening.
I don't know what's more competitive, KT versus GRX or KT trying to get this perfect
KT
game.
versus KT.
Oh,
well, teleport for the flank. Score, remember, he doesn't have the ultimate, but does have the flash. Straight into the maw of Mata, as the ultimate is going to land onto the Tahm Kench. Doesn't have the flash available, but now it's the re-engage from KT. PK at full health as Mata now. Grey health available, and GRX, they can't do anything. Score's going to pick up the kill. And man, they're just too far behind.
And no one's died.
They tried
perfect
so
game.
hard.
We're still on point. Don't worry, guys.
This is all
Get
this has
excited.
turned into.
It's fine.
Who's gonna be the first person to let KT fans down?
Yeah, well, KT.
It was almost Smeb there.
It's always going to be KT.
Ultimately, they tried so hard. I love the fact that GRX are trying the hardest to get back into this, because ultimately, boom, coming in from Wuji to snatch over Kennen and make his life super hard.
Wait for the flash.
Mata.
Wait for the flash.
Mata, though, he's like, man, I'm tired of you guys' bullshit. I have to carry you all the time. Get my mount, get over here. And then Yuka's like, oh, my turn? The heal immediately comes down.
Yeah, well, look at the flash from Smeb. Flashes afterwards, looks for the W, but doesn't get it.
Scurries back to the Kindred ultimate.
He's like, hopefully no one saw that.
It's not going to be me. It's not going to be me.
And this is going to be the re-engage that doesn't work.
What was scary here is the fact that Score did separate himself, so it was great that Mata was able to once again control the fight and allow them more space, so when the re-engage comes through, there's no way to pick up apart a KT member.
And UCal and Deft just completely fine in the backline. Lots of consistent damage coming out from those two. And now Deft, he's got the Nashor's Tooth. He's building towards a Rabbidan's Death Cap as item number 3. This guy is ready to kill everyone.
And he can do that alongside the likes of UCal. Their amount of burst damage that can come out of their composition right now is very gross, but I talked about how it was going to be a lot of back and forth tug-of-war types of fight, and a lot of that based off of Mata. Have to sing his praises again. 1-0-3. I always loved watching Mata play. So disappointed when he decided to leave the best region in the world and go back to the LCK.
Well, I was disappointed as well. That's why I followed him to the LCK. Him and Deft as well, they've been a joy to watch.
But I feel like he's going to be the true savior of KT's perfect game this time around.
We got to stop talking about the perfect game. KT are going to hear us, they're going to be like, what? You need some disappointment? Here we go.
I'm just saying, it's
time to A-Ram, boys.
No, ain't happening. He's going to allow them to play aggressively and still keep the lives intact with how he's been playing this one.
Well, Stitch is going to be in trouble here as, oh my god, that E did so much damage, but Stitch is going to survive for the moment. Got the ultimate that's going to save Koala. And we do need to save the koalas, remember, endangered species, so thank goodness he survived. The KT still with so much control.
Stop eating all that eucalyptus. Maybe you'd stop falling out of trees.
It's not the eucalyptus, it's the fact that they need specific leaves, you know, and their habitat's getting destroyed, Prosper. This is actually a really big deal.
Please take a moment, educate yourself on the koalas, guys.
Yeah, you certainly should. Just public service announcement.
Specific diseases that have been plaguing them.
Yes, let's not go into that one, though. I don't think that's broadcast safe. Talking about the problems that certain koalas have got.
Well, there's a problem that GRX have right now, and it's called the Baron.
Oh my god, they have Raise and Koala. They are actually raising their koalas. Oh man, thank goodness we've got some ex-OPL casters here as GRX. They're not saying thank goodness for anything, as PK has been murdered on the top side of the map.
Yeah, just like Oceanics' hopes and dreams.
Hey, we just won our first international tournament, okay? I want none of this. We can have our just reward. Thank you very much, Proskerin. Okay, speaking of score, he's going to be moving towards this inhibitor turret, and KT, not a care in the world. Flash forward from Deft. The classic miss of the Chains of Corruption for his movement into this fight, but Never Move's not going to find it. Explosive cast is as Mata just eats up his AD carry, and now Smeb might be in trouble, but has the ultimate, and Wuji, he has to go golden to keep himself alive. KT, they don't want anyone to die in this fight. The perfect game is still an opportunity, and Mata again with the save. Lamb's Respite helping out GRX. But it looks like they're just going to run away, and the perfect game is dead! The disappointment, it's Yukao, it's the rookie that does it!
But it's also KT fleeing home, the teleport comes in, this could be the turnaround, the perfect game is dead, and possibly the Baron.
No,
well,
they ain't
KT,
leaving.
yeah, they're looking for the re-engage here. Deft is the only one with a health bar to speak of, and there's not a lot of cooldowns. Remember, GRX very far behind when it comes to items, 10,000 gold. Can Smeb actually find the re-engage? Doesn't have the ultimate, remember, so there's not a lot of opportunity. And now you've got the Fate's Call. Mata is going to eat up the Varus. Grey Health not going to save you now as Wuji picks up the kill. Now Smeb, nothing he can do to protect Score, who's trying to bounce away from this fight. He will try and hop over this wall, but they're going to go back to the Baron. They're giving up on it. They're leaving them alive. We're going to do this do-si-do again.
Deft is still alive with Smeb. This is still a really tricky one for GRX.
Is it though? I mean, there's still 3 versus 5. I mean, Koala's very low.
But Score's been healing up. He still has his smite available.
Okay, you've got Deft doing a lot of work. Score picks up the first kill. They've got 2. They're still looking for more. Deft is going to fall as Wuji once again picks up the kill, but Score just goes 1v1. Raise, it's a disaster. The double kill, triple kill for Score, and they get a free Baron. It was all orchestrated. This is the KT way.
Oh, I saw it start to happen. The miracle, the dream, the flying V, the mighty ducks.
Just didn't have to be this way.
Oh, Raz.
KT could have taken Baron ages ago. And they could have saved their perfect run.
But how are you supposed to win a game, Raz, if you're KT Rolster? You got to go up and down on that roller coaster. We're looping around. We're doing all of the moves. And KT now looking to try and put that final nail in the coffin. The final nail in the LMS hopes and dreams is Koala looking to try and take down Score as Mata just gets out of there with the Abyssal Voyage. A little bit of extra range on that one than the old Devour. And so that one's going to help them out. And that looked hilarious. What was it? The slurping sound? Brilliant. Oh my god, this game.
It's now 2 inhibs down. GRX, the last hope, wearing the crown of the LMS on the back foot, the weight of the world.
Oh, let's have a look at this replay to see how KT expertly navigated this fight.
It breaks my heart.
Because ultimately, look at Koala. Literally 0 HP behind the Baron pit, taking extra damage. Raze has to literally be pushed behind the pit, so you don't have a jungler anymore. And so Score and Deft still literally just doing so much damage here alone.
That was just sheer panic.
Oh,
if you want to know what panic looks like, that's what it looks like.
Well, I mean, I think this is going to be another one of those post-match threads where you've got to go in there and say clean execution, KT looking beautiful, just solid play overall. Absolutely nothing to worry about. Their early game certainly was that. A few fumbles there around the Baron pit, but otherwise this has been pretty clean cut.
And it's an interesting conversation, you know, as we are stack ranking the LCK teams. I personally feel like it's KT. I think I've had conversations with Papa
No, you're just not allowed to say that it's KT.
Oh, right.
Look, it's not like we disagree with you, but we're just not allowed to agree with you.
But the point is that Papa Smithy and I have also been talking about a FLICKR coming up. I've been very impressed with the FLICKR at this tournament. I just don't think that pound for pound, talent-wise, you have the sheer raw power of a KT roster.
We just see the best of KT and the worst as well. It reminds me of Rogue Warriors in the sense that this game and the last two have been phenomenal from them.
But Smeb.
He wants it.
We're looking for the flank here from Smeb. We've got the fight started from
he's
GRX,
He's
though,
going
as Marta is just everywhere. Smeb, the perfect flank, the slicing mouse from everyone stunned in the back line. It's just a field day for the cannon. Double kill comes in first up. You've got Score getting one as well on the back line. It's the ace, and it's the game, and it's all over for the LMS.
Choo-choo! All aboard the KT hype train because the LCK are going all the way to the finals.
Oh man, absolutely beautiful team fight to finish it off. Of course, GRX, they walked right into Smeb's open arms for the ideal cannon engage.
They just accepted their demise. They saw the cannon, they saw the fight, they saw the minions battering down their base. They knew there was only one option.
That was like an 8-second wind-up, Smeb. Like a marathon run.
It's like Donkey Kong in Super Smash Brothers. You know, you press his B button and he just winds up his arm forever. You just sit there waiting to punch someone. It's what I used to do when we used to play free-for-all 4-player.
And I used to get hit every damn time.
Yep, yeah. It's one of those things. For KT, it was one hell of a punch. That was a haymaker, and they're going to send LMS home and make LPL scared, sitting in the back right now, waiting to face them tomorrow.
And another semi-global composition out of an LCK team. They've looked much crisper and cleaner today, particularly SKT. That's the big talk of the day, taking down the Flash Wolves. And it was an unfortunate run for the LMS. I do think that ultimately, though, this tournament provides a lot of good takeaways because this LMS next chapter just needs experience. They need time. Bring in your imports, start setting up your teams, communicate better, find that growth, and then come back stronger because they prove time and time again that you can't count them out.
Yeah, little caveat, of course, Score with his sore leg means that he's not going to be able to take a bow, so he's going to make his way off the stage, still able to carry his team with one damn leg. Look at that scoreline. Look at the damage. 16,000 damage from the jungle, top in the game.
Incredible play from them. And I'm just going to focus on one part of this one. Is Deft.
Oh, yeah.
Deft, I'm looking at, you were talking about Prey on KZ,
yeah,
and immediately Bang looking as good as he ever has. So even though in the start of the tournament we look towards the LPL teams for bringing in their top tier AD carries, they might be able to match them with the 3 AD carries they're bringing themselves in the finals tomorrow.
As long as they're in form, and Bang has been in form for this tournament, although it's an issue of consistency, not just with SKT, but also with KT Rolster. If KT continue to play like this and how they have at Rift Rivals, we're going to have one hell of a finals. But I'm waiting for the drop. That Baron was a little bit of a drop. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Probably having a little bit of fun with their food, you know, open up, here comes the airplane.
Yeah. But look, I mean, we've got 3 of the best AD carries in the world coming over from the LCK. They're trying to face down against Uzi, known as one of the greatest players to ever live. I don't even know how you're supposed to classify Uzi because he turns League of Legends into a very different video game whenever he's in there. But man, I'm looking forward to seeing what our AD carries can do when they come up against the might of the LPL tomorrow.
It's also about the draft phase. We've seen a lot of different tendencies here, you know, going towards the bruisers, going towards the traditional ADCs. The LCK have been much more flexible, much more diverse, whereas the LPL have really stuck true to that. So nothing much was shown here. I'm really curious if the LCK will go back towards those bruiser-style bot lanes, the funnel-style compositions tomorrow, and try to catch the LPL off guard by having a better read or different read on the meta.
Yeah, and I think the Varus is one pick that's been coming through a lot more, seeing more priority in the bottom lane, pick potential as well. I want to see if it gets picked up by Bang.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Bang's already done it, but guys, that's going to be it. And to say goodbye to the LMS, we're going to throw it back to the analyst desk.
Thanks, guys, and bye.
A little
Goodbye.
queen wave here.
Yeah. Bit of a tragedy for the LMS there. Clement, you called it a little bit early there, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Flash Wolves with the unexpected drop in Game 2. Look, we got to back this up real quick. LCK, Papa, were you surprised that we saw all of these teams just come back at 100% at an international event, or were you expecting a little bit more scrap?
Look, LCK winning, I think that to me was a foregone conclusion, but this was a dumpstering of the LMS. It was just, I could not see 3 games being that one-sided. The big surprise, of course, is SKT performing against the Flash Wolves, underperforming, but the other 2 games were to some degree expectation, but you think of the previous games between the LCK and the LMS, they were one-sided, but it's not like this.
Yeah, definitely. And I have to remind everyone that GRX was the 2nd best team in spring.
Maybe don't remind me.
And all of those players were actually professional players, 2 LCK players as well. I've just never seen a game go down so bad, and probably the best player on GRX was the blue buff on their side of the map.
That's true. He knew what he was doing.
Hoping it back to base, trying to turn around and run. I mean, we saw a couple of opportunities for GRX to do exactly that. KT Rolster giving us the roller coaster, the quick, oh, are we dropping? Are we not? No. But we have to start looking ahead to tomorrow, because the LPL is not going to put up anywhere near of the same quality of fight that the LMS just put up. If we see the same style of play from the LCK, what are we looking at for tomorrow?
Look, what I'll take away from this is no funnel today. No funnel comp taken, and there was a lot of theories about, do you play funnel against people you're definitely better than, or people you're definitely worse than, or just because you think it's good. That answer hasn't revealed itself. I think we will see funnel tomorrow, but I think it was smart from all the 3 teams here to show basically nothing. There were no huge unique picks. Smeb, I'll call for the Rumble. He played Cannon. He's a great flank player. That part is normal. I feel like they didn't show much. 2 of the games were just landslides, and SKT overperformed. So you come away going, didn't really learn anything about KT Rolster, didn't really learn anything about Kingzone apart from, okay, the mindset is returned. I'm scared of SKT at least more than I was before. So honestly, if you're the LPL, you definitely have more to think about than you did yesterday.
Yeah, that's a big takeaway here, because there was nothing revealed by the LCK whatsoever. And I have to say, I don't think the LPL, despite their 4-0 game yesterday, really had a good counter to the funnel composition. It was one mainly off of the execution. The only time we've seen the funnel comp actually fail was from Flash Wolves, and was with the Talon smite right there. So, you know, going back a little bit, I actually thought if Kingzone beat RNG yesterday and forced the RNG to play them earlier, I actually felt like there was very low chances for LPL to come out ahead. But there's this one day gap where they have to get all their Marlboros together and really think about what to counter with.
They're going to have a lot of time. This was actually 2 hours, 40 minutes for a best of 5, which is insane time. Usually an hour a game. Remember, there's downtime. There's 15 minutes minimum between series. This was a really quick couple of games. They didn't learn much, and it's going to be burning the midnight oil for both squads.
Exactly, and that's, I think, what we saw from the LPL, was that they did have a full day to watch the LCK to prepare. Even if it is not a lot of footage, they still have all of the footage back from the previous 2 days. That being said, though, I kind of want to run a little bit of a mock draft between the 2 of you. Clement, I'm going to give you the LCK just to put Papa on the bit of the uncomfortable side. We should be familiar with our 4 teams running into this. And what I just want to say is, who do you send in to match 1? Do you start things off strong with your #1 seed, with Kingzone picking up a fresh win? Do you try to get KT out of the way just in case the roller coaster drops? So I'll actually start off with you, Clement, as the LCK representative. Why don't you kick us off with your first pick and why? And Papa, I'll get yours in a moment.
We've got blank pages here, by the way. No notes on this one.
Exactly.
So I would actually go for FLICKR first, because this is the team that people have not seen today yet. So they have a lot of time to prepare, and I think it's actually fairly easy to expect side selection from the LPL. They're probably most likely going to go for the red side here and try to get a strong counter pick in one of those lanes. So FLICKR would be my pick.
Now, blind, without knowing about FLICKR, I would definitely consider sending Rogue Warriors in first. I feel like they're the big unknown from the LPL. I feel like they can really surprise people, and I think that I would imagine something like SKT coming out first, because suddenly with SKT, you're like, well, they could take down Flash Wolves. They can beat anyone. We'll be a bit more reasoned with our other picks. So I would lead with Rogue Warriors. Knowing it was a FLICKR, I'd probably modify from there. I think EDG already had a great matchup against them, so you would consider that. But that's not information that exists, so given your presentation, Rogue Warriors.
Of course, running that blind as that is. That said, though, we do have the standings for today so that you can see all of the teams up on your screen and actually get a better idea of this. Again, it was the 3-0 to the LCK, and like we said, we have not seen a FLICKR yet, so there is that surprise factor of what they could bring, not to mention the team style.
Is North America playing later, or?
You could tune into their Rift Rivals for sure.
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely good. You can certainly try.
A lot of North America there.
Exactly. But again, we do say goodbye to the LMS. Is that real quick I just want to try to run through 2 or 3 more just so we get an idea of this blind relay. So we've got that game 1. I believe it was Rogue Warriors versus FLICKR. What have you got next? We'll have you start off, Papa, if you've got those 2 out of the way. Not assuming win-loss for either side. If you've got to pick the next one, do you start strong knowing that this is the LCK side choice for game 2?
I take RNG.
Okay.
In game number 2. That would be my choice there. I just like running RNG in the first 2 games. We started with Rogue Warriors. To me, it's less about side selection, just more about RNG. Playing early and then having a lot of time to think about things, because I think if you're playing game 5, you're sending in RNG.
Yeah. Clement?
Yeah, not knowing about that, I would actually go with KT here. I just want a strong side, a guaranteed win here, and I actually think RNG without side selection, it really limits them in terms of the 1-3-1. But of course, we don't really know about that. I'm just going for the guaranteed win.
Okay, then
we get a sick matchup if that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
KT RNG would be awesome. That being said, though, we are done for the day, I believe. Yeah, okay. We're getting mixed signals in from the production studio in the back. That said, I do want to get one more round of the draft for 3, just so we have an idea of what you guys are looking at. At the remaining 2 teams, you've got Invictus Gaming, and the last one, I believe, which one is that for you, Papa?
IG and EDG.
IG and EDG, okay. So which of the 2 would you take for this 3rd round?
Definitely EDG.
Okay.
I like EDG there. I think IG, you wait for game 4 to come in fresh, come in with strong mechanics, and try to blow down someone, whoever's left over. So I'd leave with EDG at number 3.
And I would go with Kingzone last. Just get them a bit of confidence with their first 2 matches, coming off guaranteed win with the KT. Not guaranteed, but a strong win after KT. Sure. I think it helps them.
Well, very cool. We'll have to see what that's going to be, though. But as we said, it is now time to end the show. We've got more Rift Rivals coming at you tomorrow with the grand finals. 1st place versus 2nd place. The best region in the world versus the LCK. We're going to go ahead and finish the show now. On behalf of myself, my wonderful co-analysts, and the casters, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more Rift Rivals action.